With a yo-ho-ho, it's Tale of the Toaster. Welcome back to another Inazuma 11 Aries episode thoughts. And we're going to get straight to the action because that's exactly what this episode does. Like, you know, the setup in the previous one was we're going to be facing Royal Academy next match. This episode begins. We're just here, we're at the stadium and Royal are ready to start. They're sponsored by Kido. It's apparently a construction service, but I mean, this is the poorest sponsor. Yeah, I've loved the sponsor segment so far, but to literally just take their former captain, Kido Yuto, in English, Jude Sharp, and just take away the letter U, like the least important of the 5 letters. Yeah, they're sponsored by their former midfielder. That's really weird, not one. Like, I guess, if you think about it, this has just come to me in the moment, but like, Jude Sharp was adopted by a very famous family. Like, he's clearly in a highballing kind of society. Maybe that is their company, actually. What if Royal actually is sponsored by Jude Sharp's family? All of a sudden, I've done a complete 180 on this sponsor. I've gone from not caring about it to actually thinking, you know what, that's pretty clever, actually. Obviously, it doesn't apply to the dub. They did not localise Kido. They're not sponsored by Sharp here in the dub, but we get the idea. If they were sponsored by Sharp, though, then I'd be out of pocket. That joke only works if you know what my last name is, but, well, I think you can infer what it might be from that statement alone. So the key things to be aware of. Ray Dark, yes, we've just had to swallow that one. He's out of prison and he's back coaching high school football teams again. You know, don't think about the legality of it too much. He's back and that's fine. What doesn't seem to be fine is this new goalkeeper, Grotley Bogwash, who is just shouting the odds. He's demanded to be in goal at the cost of Joseph King, one of the most established and well-liked keepers in the series history. And not only that, he also wants to be captain. The current captain of Royal Academy is David Samford, the forward, after Jude Sharp has moved to Polestar Academy to be the football ambassador. But obviously, Jude had moved to Raimon anyway, so you know it's not clear whether he would have moved back to Royal Academy after season 1 or if he would have stuck with Raimon. Certainly, the original trilogy kind of suggests sticking with Raimon, but we couldn't have known. But yes, David Samford took up the captain role and he has immediately lost it. This is also kind of berated by Caleb Stonewall, who's going to be playing as part of Royal for the first time, really. We've only seen him on Royal Academy Redux, but now we get to see him on the main Royal Academy, which is good. But he's just kind of making jokes about Samford being the ex-captain, and he's not actually that bothered, but he's like, he's hurling insults at the likes of Samford, but nobody's giving him anything back. It's a bit of a quaint debut for Caleb, but we'll see how it goes as things pan out. Finally, Nathan Swift is the final addition to their team. He is the ambassador, so just as they lost Jude, they've now gained another one. Will he be a better ambassador than Jude was to them? Probably not, but the weird thing is, he's very much following Ray Dark's word to the letter and putting his complete trust in him, which is strange because Ray Dark, you know, like, I don't know if I'm just jogging my brain or I'm misremembering something here, but hasn't it been less than a year since Ray Dark attempted to kill Nathan Swift? Really, I mean, well, he was in defence, so I guess he wasn't going to be one of the guys who had the steel bars dropped on him. Sorry, Axel Blaze and Willie Glass was the subject of Ray Dark's attempted murder. But no, it's an anime, so Nathan's just gonna follow Ray Dark to the word now. Yeah, okay, Chief. Nathan is still easily the most fitting member of Raimon to move across to Royal Academy. Again, did they need an ambassador? I'm not sure. They've already got Ray Dark back, which should be enough of an advantage. But the strategy from Ray Dark seems to be brand new cleats for the Royal Academy players, the new football shoes. And doesn't seem to be working out for them because the match begins and it just slows them down considerably to the point where they can barely even move. Now Nathan's quite aware of this because he just seems to be in on the deets of Ray Dark's plan, but nobody else is. This is their first time wearing these cleats, and everyone on Royal is confused as to why they cannot move. Also, their goalkeeper is complete deadweight, and as soon as Basil Hardy takes a shot within the first 2 minutes of the match, he just cowers away and it flies in. So Royal is immediately losing. You know, I was kind of thinking this was really, really early to be taking on Royal Academy in the first place. We're only on episode 9, and this was the main antagonist team of season 1, at least for half of it. The team that had won 40 years straight, which is still a bit of a backstory I would rather forget from Inazuma. 40 years is quite a long time for a winning streak. But yeah, this so-called 40-year winning streak team is now just 1-0 down against amateurs because they can barely even move. Nathan's not bothered. He's like, oh, you'll see what the plan is. And everyone else is, Caleb's just being a true neutral. He's like, man, I can't seem to move, but I'm going to take another pot shot at David Samford, and he's not going to give me anything back. And he's just hurling more really minor insults, but then Grotley Bogwash gives worse than Caleb ever did. So he's kind of like, do they just like him? I'm not sure where Caleb really fits into this dynamic yet, but who doesn't fit into it? Poor old Gus Martin, the most popular Inazuma 11 character in the entire series, is not even playing on the pitch because Nathan Swift has stolen his position as a defender, and I wonder how the internet reacted to that one. So new captain Samford, even though he's not currently the captain, it still kind of falls to him to figure something out, and he's not getting too far, but eventually they clock on that instead of trying to run full pelt in these new cleats, if they just leisurely jog, then the slow mode that Ray Dark's applied on his own team is less effective. They can actually move now without exhausting themselves, but it doesn't exactly help them with their plays. It lets them move, doesn't let them play football exactly. So at this point, Raimon starts getting cocky and they just go on the assault all themselves. Even the defenders, Trevor Cook and Cliff Parker, are actually just going to start trying to take shots here, and Royal can't cope because they've got basically no goalkeeper. They can barely move themselves, and it falls down to just the Gus Martin free set of defenders. Even Nathan's not helping here. He knows Ray Dark's plan, so that means he doesn't need to participate in this match as a defender, even though 5 different members of Raimon are taking repeated shots on Royal. Nathan, what is your position again? He's always kind of been a midfielder that they put in the defensive slot anyway. I guess you could call him a libero, but no, that's what they want to give to Trevor Cook and briefly Mark Evans when he was out of goal. But what this does do, though, is it lets us get used to Royal Academy members that we haven't really paid attention to before. When you're thinking of Royal on the defence, you've always got King in goal. Nathan Swift has been added, so you'd expect him to do defending. Gus Martin is always there stealing the eyes of the viewer whenever he's on defence. But no, actually, we're relying on people like Ben Simmons and Alan Master to do the defending here. And they've always been on the team. Even Peter Drent, he's a noticeable member of Raimon because he was actually picked as a candidate for Inazuma National in the manga, so he was kind of elevated to an extra state of importance, and obviously he's helping here too. But now we're actually taking this team that's always been there, we've added new people to it like Caleb Stonewall and Nathan Swift and Grotley Bogwash, but now we're actually going to focus on kind of the D-list members, and that's an interesting way to go, and I'm enjoying it. And you know what? They're doing brilliantly. They're wearing these slow-down cleats, then they're just taking shot after shot and blocking them all. Yeah, they're not being met with Raimon's best strikers. Heck, Adriano even steals the ball from Basil at one point, his own teammate, to try and fail a fire lemonade shot. So it's yeah, we do actually get kind of close to the end of the first half here. Eventually, Sonny is going to be the one to steal the second goal on Raimon's behalf. They needed another one at some point with the way this was going. We're currently 2-0 for Flash Dash, his midfielding stroke defending move. being a defensive shot. Like, so far since we've seen Flash Dash, it has been used twice as a defensive move and 0 times as a midfielding move. But again, according to mobile games like Inazuma 11 SD, it is defined as a midfielding move, so I'll wait to see it. I don't really like moves being multi-purpose in the series. I'd rather them just do one thing, but yeah, so far it is a defensive move, and Sonny used it to take the ball from Nathan Swift and score another goal. So 2-0 up to Raimon. You couldn't have expected that one. So the first half ends with Raimon just completely dominating the proceedings, and at this point I was kind of looking forward to the halftime chat to see what on earth Royal's reaction would be, because they've got a lot of people they can blame here. Nathan Swift is just keeping secrets from his own team. Grotley Bogwash is being absolutely useless and nobody knows why he's in goal or being the captain. David Samford, he's meant to be the actual captain, but he's contributed nothing. Ray Dark has just escaped out of prison and has tried this experimental, weird and bad strategy, but no one calls him out on it. Caleb Stonewall, again, he's meant to be the most famous troublemaker of the Inazuma series, but he's just kind of here, again, calling Samford the ex-captain, and gets, once again, I'm saying it every time, but nobody bites back at him. He just makes a really mild insult, and then they just let it slide while they focus on the bigger priorities. Caleb didn't even do anything in the match. Like, fair enough, nobody really could while they were on those slow down cleats, but what's he actually done so far other than just have a few lines? I don't know, but Ray Dark literally says nothing. Like, do they want to question him, but they just don't, because they probably don't want to get killed or something. So yeah, Grotley Bogwash just bites at them and says, "I'm going to tell my dad if you defenders don't pick up the pace," even though the defenders have been literally exceptional. But that's just the kind of guy he is. Why would him telling his dad matter? It's hard to know, but we're just going back into the second match. We didn't really get the resolution that I was after from that bit. Even Mr. Yi on Raimon's team kind of has the same thing going on. Raimon are kind of falling into Ray Dark's trap, as it were. They've started to exhaust themselves by letting the defenders go on the attack throughout the first half to wear them out. That is kind of Ray Dark's strategy, because as we'll see in the second half, he puts the cleats back to normal mode, allowing the Royal Academy players to actually run freely and play football. Like, Mr. Yi's aware of this. He's been playing on his phone the whole time. Here I go to reach for my phone as a prop again when I realise it's there. But yeah, he was playing some mobile game in easy mode, and the managers are like, why is he playing mobile games? And then now he's playing on hard mode and gets obliterated. He's clearly aware of Ray Dark's strategy, but has done nothing about it. I don't know what his deal is right now. He's completely acknowledging Ray's plan and doing nothing to communicate with his team at all, but fair, we'll just have to let it slide, I guess, as we go into that second half. But this is a bit of a treat, because now that Royal can play again, they start commanding the pace. The exhausted defenders, apart from Kiko, he's the only one who didn't go on the attack. Let's go Flat Cat boys. Yeah, the Raimon start getting flattened all of a sudden, and we get to see like a montage of 3 HD new versions of the old special moves. We get to see the new version of Emperor Penguin number 2 with Samford, and that's the first contribution of Caleb Stonewall as well, getting involved with that move. We also get to see Flurry Dash from Nathan, which has never been a particularly interesting move, but at least it's got the HD upgrade. And then the main one is actually the equaliser shot from Royal Academy. They'd scored with Emperor Penguin, and now they get a second goal with Wrath Shot. And this move's been totally reimagined as such. It's Hatch doing the goal on his own, and it was always previously one of the most basic moves in their arsenal, just this guy repeatedly kicking on the ball until eventually launches it. I never liked it too much because it didn't make too much sense, but now he does all of those motions, but it ends with this proper monochrome filter. I feel like I've got to switch my own footage into monochrome for that split second there, but on the final kick, yeah, it just, ooh, grayscale, and then the ball explodes into like 20 million different balls and just beats out Sandra's splash guard for I think the first time in the series. And yeah, it's 2-2 now, so well, Ray Dark is clearly doing a bit of a good job here. What are Raimon actually going to do about this? Well, I'll drop in a tidbit of my own, and I can't just be here to recap the plot, I'm here to add my own thoughts, and my thoughts here are that we wouldn't have this problem if Raimon literally had one reserve player. Like, why are we 9 episodes in and Raimon doesn't have a single bench player? The only people on the bench are Mr. Yi, the coach, the 2 managers, Aurelia and Regina, and Mr. Yi's assistant. This is Raimon. They're the reigning champions of the football frontier. Right, football's exploding in popularity right now. How does Raimon not even have a single reserve? Yeah, I know you need to give spotlight to all of these brand new players in this new season, and fair enough, there are a lot of characters on this team who haven't had any emphasis yet. Like Nino Nango, the one who looks kind of like a ninja, has done absolutely nothing. The captain, Massim, has also done absolutely nothing. Like, he's had a few moments off the pitch, but on the pitch he's done the square root of 0. Like, so fair enough, yes, they're struggling to, within 26 episodes, put emphasis on all the members of the team, but one reserve, is that too much to ask for? I mean, you could have swapped them on at this point of the game so you've got somebody in the defence who's not exhausted. I don't know, I don't think that's asking too much, really. I also don't think it's too much to ask of Nathan Swift to have a bit more characterisation in his montage flashback with Ray Dark. We learn how he was added as the ambassador. He was just kind of picked, started playing some matches. We get to see a little bit of the match where Royal Academy lost their #1 spot to Polestar Academy, because Jude was on Polestar at this point alongside Elliot Ember, and Nathan just kind of added nothing, so they lost. That's when Ray Dark gets released from prison, and yeah, they have that chat. He's like, you know, I don't want to forgive you. I kind of said before how Nathan was unwilling to forgive Ray Dark, but it was for all of 2 seconds before, you know, Ray Dark reminds him of why he's there. You know, we've got to make the people of Japan better at football, and he just says, okay, I will obey you. And he's followed Ray Dark to the letter ever since, just because he's reminded of that loss he had against Barcelona Orb. It's funny we should mention the stuff that happens in Reloaded, because actually there is an episode of Inazuma 11 Outer Code which kind of sets up this episode. When Nathan is first added to the team, he mentions some new defensive tactics that they want to learn. And as we return to the match here, we actually get to see that new defensive tactic. And it's called the Royal Runaround. I love this. Like, this is the first brand new special tactic we actually get to see in all of Ares. But, like, you know, I don't care about what it looks like. The special tactics in Ares are kind of hard to picture because they all just cut to some kind of grid-like menu, and then after some people move in whatever direction, the person who initiated the special tactics just wins. There's never any suspense with special tactics. They're not going to fail, they just happen within a space of 4 seconds. All I can really judge about them is the names, and Royal Runaround for Royal Academy is a 10 out of 10. That's one of my favourite special tactic names ever, and yeah, it wins. Nathan's stolen the ball, so good for him. I think it's called Imperial Cycle in Japanese, so not much of a pun there, but Royal Runaround just totally redeems it. And that allows the episode to end with one more goal from David Samford, just a regular shot following on from the Royal Runaround. And so, the episode comes to a close, and after all of that dominance from Raimon, Royal are actually winning, 3-2. And the bit I really want to exemplify, like, I know I've pointed out a couple of the bad sides of this episode, but what I really want to credit it for is we've had 5 goals and an entire narrative of both the first half and the second half. This has gone through all sorts of different pace changes, and they fit it within one episode. It doesn't feel rushed at all. Like, I feel like I've just watched the full match, basically, 40 minutes worth of content within one episode. In fact, I can see by how long I've been recording down at the bottom of my screen. I've just hit the 25-minute mark. Yeah, there's so much to say about this match. I don't know how they fit it in such a short amount of time. So, big props to the pacing. And, you know, we're left with Royal winning, Raimon looking quite hopeless because they've got no substitutes. You remember again, this is round robin. Is there actually a guarantee that Raimon are going to win this? Sure, they've always had plot armor, but is it possible that they could lose this match and still carry on in the tournament anyway? I don't know. It would be a bit early in the series for Ray Dark to lose a match, right? Well, we'll just have to find out in episode 10. But for now, I loved episode 9 despite its couple of shortcomings, like Caleb being a bit lost for purpose, and Nathan's sudden change of heart on his attempted murderer. But you know what? Let's see how it finishes in episode 10. For now, I've been TaleOfTheToaster, and we'll see you in another one.